We're here with Marc Whitten, GM of Xbox Live, and you literally just got off the stage. You had a keynote. Yeah. It was a packed house. So since I couldn't make it because I was interviewing other people, why don't you just repeat the whole presentation?
That sounds super great.
I guess my first question is, I'm a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
What is your vision of my future living room?
You know, the thing to me...
Or my home,
sure.
I should say.
You know, the thing that to me that's really special is we've got all of this technology to get all the content into the living room, to have all these experiences. It's what changes then. Like what changes when we can socialize around the content, whether we're in the same room together or we're shared, or we're separated by thousands of miles or continents. And I always sort of think about this in terms of audiences and communities. You know, we always talk about Halo, one of our top games, as a community of Halo players. But everybody always says, hey, there's an audience of the Super Bowl or an audience for Desperate Housewives. And as you think about the world transitioning to where those people, we can move from one-to-many relationships to many-to-many relationships, it will fundamentally shift how everybody enjoys entertainment.
That's it?
It's simple. You know, and you know, the thing there is, it's not just about putting that around the experiences, it's about how the experiences change because I can interact with the content and I can interact with my friends. You know, I was, you know, think about voting on a show like, you know, like a reality show, right? I have to use a different device. It's not integrated with the program.
Talking about my
text message, text message
iPhone.
A vote in or whatever. I don't get feedback on how my vote affected it. I don't get feedback on what my friends are doing. Those are all separated from the content experience. Think about a show like Jeopardy. Like where you sit there and you scream at the television because you know the answer, but you don't have any way to really participate. Like if you want to move from sitting back to sort of, you know, kind of actively participating in that experience, we've created these walls between them. And that shift in where I can choose to be either sort of a passive observer to a direct actor that's really changing the outcome is a really, really big shift and will change how people, kind of what they expect from their entertainment. I fundamentally think people don't expect anywhere near enough from what the living room, from what their content should do for them.
I think you're the first person I've heard saying that the consumer is not demanding enough.
They're not. You know, one of the things that that I shared in the keynote was a demo of our Sky service. We just launched Sky in partnership with BSkyB in the UK, and that brings video on demand, and it also brings live television onto a game console for the first time. The powerful part of that demo for me, though, is when you pull up the programming guide, and it looks at first just like the programming guide on your television, except that if you have a friend in a channel, you see that you have a friend in that channel. Like we've taken the heat map of all the content that's available and we've overlaid the heat map of my social networks on top of that. And the fact that we haven't been able to do that for the last 70 years, that like when I turn on my TV to see what I want to do, that I can't sort of get a sense of what my friends are watching, and then once I have that sense that I might be able to do something with them, it's broken.
So how specifically are you doing that? So when you say it maps my network of friends, is that
Sure.
by integrating with something like Facebook, or is it through other
means?
Well,
it starts with Xbox Live. I mean, Xbox Live has connected 20 million televisions, but more importantly, 20 million people together. And those have formed this amazing social network in the living room. And so I can tell that you're watching you know, a soccer game in the UK, and then we can both join in that session and watch together. And because we have headsets, we can be chatting, we have our avatars, we can emote, we can share together. And you can imagine that moving beyond that so that we actually start being able to manipulate and participate in the experience in new ways.
So basically in the same way that if I'm on Facebook, I have my Facebook friends, on Xbox Live, I have my Xbox Live friends.
Exactly.
Okay, so I know that my best friend from school also has an Xbox, we become friends, and now he's permanently in my friends.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, one of the things we just launched yesterday was our own integration with Facebook, so that you can take both of those networks, the largest social network in the living room and Xbox Live, and this amazing social network on the web and Facebook, and you can link them together. So you might find that you didn't know that one of your friends from high school had an Xbox, and go make that linkage.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like your mission is to, you know, in the same way that everybody has 15 different email accounts, so I have to log into 15 different places, I have to remember 15 different usernames and passwords. From my content consumption standpoint, you're just trying to make it really simple through one device to have maybe all my network television, all my cable television, my games, my video rentals, and kind of all the way down the line, and then having that social layer wrapped around all that, so that even in addition to what we just talked about, I could see that my best friend just watched Bruno.
You should come work on our marketing
and
team.
Gave it a rating.
That's great. Yeah, that was an awesome pitch. No, yeah, to me, it's really simple. It's about the entertainment that you want with the people you care about wherever you are. And solving that problem where it's easy to find and discover my friends, the content that matters, and to participate in that content in new and unique ways, like, will be a watershed moment that really changes the relationship that we all have with our customers, that our customers have with each other, and that the customers have with that content.
So it seems like one of your roles and responsibilities is probably a lot of business development, so calling up or even receiving calls from content companies. And what's been the general level of, I mean, every content company is kind of, their heads spun around trying to understand what the hell's going on, where should we be trying to push our content out through. So what are those conversations like when you approach a content company, those initial conversations of, here's why you should do stuff with us?
Yeah. They're great. People, I think, are very excited when they see what we're doing. And, we have great proof points with things like Netflix, which we integrated last year, and like Sky in the UK. And really what I think people see is that by creating the social layer around that content and doing it in a way that's good for them, like building a partnership, right? This isn't about Microsoft or Xbox trying to own all of that content. It's about how do we work together to create a new experience. And by turning audiences into communities, by linking people together, they form longer term relationships both with content and with you. A game like Halo, it just continues. Like the community has taken the reins of making that a deep and better experience. And so I think people see that as an exciting opportunity for their business in terms of how they can continue to grow what that means and just have a really great relationship with customers.
Now, you, in the part of the presentation I did catch, you mentioned fidelity, and one of the things you announced, was it this week, that you now have 1080p?
Instant on streaming, that's right.
Okay, so would that mean, like, if I'm watching a movie from Netflix, it's streaming right in 1080p, or watching a TV show, it's...
So what we did is we launched our Zune Video Marketplace, and in the Zune Video Marketplace we have 25,000 pieces of content, all the top studios, all the top networks, and that content is available in Instant On 1080p 5.1. So with a relatively modest bandwidth of about 3 to 4 megabits per second, you can get that 1080p experience. And you just click on a movie and it starts in less than a second. And not only does it start in a second, but it acts as if it's local. It's not one of these things where it kind of reads ahead a little ways, and as long as you're watching at the beginning, you're okay. You can skip forward, you can play at 16x, and there's never any delay. And that idea of making it just work. I mean, television and entertainment is about sort of finding what I want to do right now, sort of having that serendipitous moment of what I might be interested in. And it has to be about instant on, and it has to be about great quality, or you haven't solved that promise yet. I used to tell my team that our old marketplace was a download service, and if we were to download a 1080p movie, it could take a while. And I could actually, if I can leave my house and go to the corner store, rent a movie, come home, watch it, and take it back in less time than it takes to download the movie, we have not entered the digital age. But with the Zune Video Marketplace, with this idea that it starts in a second, that it's all there for me, and it's in the quality that I want, it really, I believe, changes the rules.
In terms of content companies and kind of monetization models, what are you seeing out there with and it seems like the movie studios, through a relationship with Netflix, is kind of a pay-per-view. Are you seeing subscription models emerge, advertising models, all within the context of the Xbox platform?
Yeah, we actually have all of them. So, and I think what we're going to continue to see is a lot of experimentation around why certain customers want certain models and how can we deliver what they want to see. So Netflix is a subscription offering that gives you sort of a la carte access to all of the content. Inside our Zune Video Marketplace, we have electronic sell-through if you want to buy a copy, or we have video on demand if I want to rent a copy of that. And we've also offered content that was advertising supported. So Just like anywhere else, I think we're all going to continue to find that it's a richness of business models that actually leads to the most and largest set of customers for the longest period of time.
And so are you seeing content companies kind of being open to just seeing what model resonates most with the Xbox audience and kind of, oh cool, people are they seem to be into the subscription model, let's go with that, or ad supported, let's push that forward?
Yeah, I think we're in a time of a lot of experimentation, and what I see from content companies is an openness to the experimentation and a desire to really understand the results. And so people are just learning and listening to customers and really thinking about what it's going to mean for their businesses. And I don't know necessarily that the pendulum has sort of landed on where people have decided, oh, the future is X and X is good. But I think people are really open to helping discover what that's going to be.
Yeah. Are you you mentioned Jeopardy. Are you working with any content companies who maybe Jeopardy, traditionally it's on what is it, on NBC, or anybody know what Jeopardy's on? ABC? Let's say it's on ABC. I may be totally wrong, but their model, to your point, has always been people are just going to sit back and watch this. They're going to yell at the TV, but there's going to be no response.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any content producers, and let's take a game show example, who are like, wait, we could maybe even have an Xbox version that could be totally participatory and take advantage of everything Xbox has to offer.
Sure.
So maybe the television audience just watches and yells at the TV,
sure,
but hey, it's kind of the concept of not just producing to the lowest common denominator, where in my mind the lowest common denominator is just people who can consume on their television, but that holds back the people who have an Xbox who could be much more more participatory in the experience. So are you seeing any content companies starting to think about how they could take advantage of what they could do through the Xbox?
Now we actually we have the second season launching of a great experiment in that area, and that's 1 versus 100, which is a game show that's been on television, which is where it's a trivia-based sort of game show. Now, what we've been able to do with our partners there is create an experience where there's a live host, where everybody in the audience is a live person on live, where everybody that's playing a live person on live, where I can choose the role that I want to play. It turns out that there's a lot of people that don't actually want to be on the hot seat and sort of be proven that they don't know the answers, but they want to sort of sit back and participate when they want to. And it's a show where you join in at a certain time and the questions are fresh and up to date. It doesn't feel like a video game at all because it feels like that same sort of currency and immediacy that you get in game shows. And beyond that, we actually found that the community wanted to write all the questions, or many of the questions. And some of our best shows were the ones that had the questions written by the community. And so we're going to continue to experiment with all of those forms of entertainment. I think you're going to see that just explode, frankly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that, any other announcements or?
It's been a great week for us. We had the Zune announcement, which we talked about, with the instant on 1080p, which I think is foundational. Facebook, the Facebook experience to me is really special because it brings photos to the TV in a really simple and easy way, and Facebook has all of these amazing photos, and bringing that from this social PC one-to-one experience to a social living room, several people on the couch experience has been really great. Last.fm, where you get streaming radio, has been good, and then of course Twitter. And it's just the start for us. You're going to see us continuing to really innovate and bring these experiences in unique ways into the living room.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate the time, and hopefully we'll catch you at Streaming Media East.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks. Great to be here.
Thank you.